If you saw my short that had over 20,000 views, I taught you how to make a nail. Today, we're going through the making of the nail header and step-by-step nail making. When I did the introduction about making this channel more focused on some of the trades, I'd said that we would do some woodworking, some blacksmithing, leatherworking. Well, this is one of those projects where kind of two of those tasks are coming together. So I'm working on a saw bench. It's loosely based on one from the Vasa. There was a full-size workbench, but I narrowed it down to a saw bench because I need a place to do some sawing. And on the front leg, it comes through a mortise and tenon. And what I'm going to do is make some nails that can come through the side. Let me show you that. So here you can see that tenon coming through the mortise. And what I'm going to do, I saw on the original the description, people said that there were nails actually going through this. Typically you might have a tree nail, but they said it was a regular nail. So I need some nails, and that's what we're going to go and do at the forge, is to make some nails. But to do that, first thing I have to do is make a nail header. I can't find our old one, so we're going to make a new nail header in this video, just in case you want to do some blacksmithing as well. I also want to preface this with, I am not a professional blacksmith. I do this as a hobby. So if I make mistakes, it's just because I don't know better, but we'll try to avoid those. I used to work as a blacksmith at a historic site about 20 years ago, as you've heard me say in some of the other videos. So I kind of have a good idea what I'm doing, but maybe I might do some things a little bit different than someone who's been doing this for a long time has. So for this project, we are going to use the gas forge. There currently is a burn ban here in North Carolina, and so I don't want to do the coal forge. I haven't heard if that would be okay to use or not. And so we're just going to go ahead and light our torch. So for this project, we're going to use a set of tongs. We have a cutoff tool, or a hardy cutoff, and we have a hammer. So to make my nails, I just was looking at what I have for stock for making the nails. I have 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch stock. And so I think I'll use the 3/8 inch. It should be a good size once it's tapered down. It should have a nice head on there and look nice. If I want to, I could actually make the back end of the nail header into a size to make 1/4 inch nails, but we'll see about that. So here we have what my son jokingly calls the buckets of tetanus. Lots of different scraps of metal, different things. This one here has a lot of leaf springs. This piece right here seems like it's a pretty good piece of metal, perfect for what we're going to make. Doesn't have to be super thick, and it doesn't have to be very long. So let's go ahead and see what the next step is. You can see that our metal is a nice bright orange color right now. We're going to let it go just a little bit longer, and then we'll start putting shoulders on that head. Here I'm using the edge of the anvil to help define where the header will start. For drawing out the handle of the nail header, I like to go back and forth between the horn of the anvil and the face of the anvil. So what we're trying to do is to thin it out this way for the handle, but we don't want it to get thicker on this way. So we have to keep going from side to front to work it down so that it doesn't mushroom out along the edges. And we're going to keep drawing this out until we get a handle that I'm happy with. And then we'll also take these corners in. What I'm working on now is trying to build up a shoulder here for the head and work this stuff down thinner. So I bring you over to the edge of the anvil this anvil has a sharper edge here, and I just hit it on the edge and it gives it more definition. If you've ever wondered why an anvil has a chain around it, it helps to deaden the ring. You'll hear on this one, the anvil does not have a chain. Since I opted for a high carbon steel and I don't have a power hammer, it takes a lot of effort to move the steel. So I have decided what I'm going to do is to make this a double header, no pun intended, but there'll be a head on this side and then I'll do the 1/4 inch one on this side so it can be a little bit smaller, but I should be able to draw this out enough that it'll be very nice. Now I'm repeating the process that I did on the other end. First defining the shoulder and then we'll work the metal back. Sometimes you may notice that your tongs get warm, so it's good to dip them in water to keep that heat from reaching your hands. If you'd like to learn more about historical trades, check out my playlist. I've got videos on blacksmithing, woodworking, leatherworking, most anything you might be interested in. So what I'm trying to do now is round this head off a bit, taking those corners off and pushing that metal towards the center. So to make the punch to come in from the back to make the nail, I found this scrap, looks like a punch, and so I'm just going to square it off into the shape of a nail, and that way that will be what drives it in. It'll be the reverse of whatever I make. The reason you want to use a tapered punch from the back is so that the nail will have an easier time being removed from the nail header. This tool that I'll be using is called a holdfast. In a future video, I'll actually show how to make one, so you'll have one on your next forging project. These are also used in woodworking, so I'll be making quite a few of them for my other projects. Here I am checking out the size of my hole against the metal that I'll be using for the nails. I'll use the file to remove it down to the appropriate size. Well, I think that's where I'm going to stop with the forge. I'm going to bring it over and just clean it up a little bit on the belt sander, and then we'll try making a nail. Now, you don't really have to do this, but I just figured I would, just to make it a little bit smoother going into my hands holding it and stuff like that. So. I think it's about time to trim back that annoying rose bush. But for now, let's go make a nail. Well, first we'll start with the 1/4 inch stock, the smaller hole, and see how that works. We may end up having to widen it a little bit just based on seeing how it all works together. But we'll go ahead and heat up our stock. Now, it's been years, probably a couple years since I've made a nail, so this will be fun. So the first thing we have to do is put the point on the end. I like to work on the point from the far end of the anvil and work my way towards me. Every nail header is just a little bit different, so it's always a good idea to check as you're doing it for the first time just to see how it sticks through the bottom of the header. Since I'm currently working with a shorter piece of stock, every once in a while I dip it to cool the end. We'll go ahead and draw it out a little bit more. So it's coming just out the bottom. I want to make it a bit longer. So we'll continue. We'll do another heating. Now that I have it to the approximate length that I want, I go ahead and bring it to the Hardy cutoff tool. First, I'll mark it before I go deeper as I rotate the stock around. One of the things I remember from the past is you can get too aggressive and actually cut it all the way through. As you can see, you just want to score. Next, we'll heat it up and break that off. It's always good to remove the Hardy tool when not in use. Now I'm putting the head on the nail. The goal is to hit down from each side. With a brand new nail header, it's common for the nails to get stuck. After a few nails, this will get easier and easier for them to just fall out. I eventually went back and filed the taper a little bit more. The goal is to not hit the nail on the point, but just hit the header on the anvil and have it drop out. So there we go, first nail. I'll probably smooth it out a little bit more, but that'll work. I just want them a little bit bigger, a little bit longer, and that'll work for my project. Now let's try the bigger hole. I'm really excited to have this header to use on future woodworking projects. Now just 200 or 300 more of them and I'll be back in the swing of things. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. If you get a chance, hit subscribe so you'll be notified when new videos drop.